So in this final recording, we are going to be talking about a couple of features that I'm going to describe as one feature because they do the same thing. They serve the same function within our records and within this program. Don't worry, this will make sense in just a moment. So remember how earlier when we were looking at the other features, there were some drop-downs like subject that we needed to have entered something for? That's the sort of thing we're going to be looking at. So there are two features of this type that I'm going to talk about. There are a few others as well, but the ones we're going to be talking about are subject and agent. So subject would be who or what the collection is about. Agent would be someone who had something to do with the collection, created it or donated it, or anyone who did something with the collection. So the options for that are a person, a family, a corporate entity, or software. Now, software, sure, we know what the real use of that is if there were some records created by a certain program. When I see this, though, I like to think of this program thinking ahead to when AIs will be creating archival collections, clearly very forward-thinking to include AIs. Anyway, back on track, we're going to create a subject. So we all know about Library of Congress subject records, and that's what we're going to use here. We could use any of a number of different ones, but we're going to use Library of Congress subject headings. And I have a relevant subject heading over here, calico cats, because one of my cats, Sandcat, is a calico. So we're going to copy over the LC classification number and put that in the authority ID. And then we're going to enter the term, calico cats, and the type of term that is a topical term. And then we could add external documents if we needed to. But other than that, we are set with that record. We don't need to add any scope notes unless we have something we need to say about it. So we'll save the subject. And if we go over here to subjects, we can see that that's been added. Alright, so now we're going to go on to add an agent, and that agent is going to be a family. So the family name that we're going to add is the Hetley family. And because this is not a family that you'd find in the Library of Congress subject headings, we're going to say that we use local sources. And even though it's not in the Library of Congress, we could still describe it according to Describing Archives at Content Standard rules if we want to. And if I was actually doing this, I would, but just to show you it's an option, I'm going to choose local rules. So we've got the Hetley family described by local rules, and if I knew the dates that the Hetley family began, I could include that in here, but being a historian, I would not want to type in false information, and I don't know how far back the Hetley family dates, so I will leave that blank. And if we needed to include qualifiers or sort names, we could do that, or dates that the name was used. If the Hetley family had changed its name when they arrived in this country, we could include their prior name here. We can also add contact information. So if I wanted to include myself as a contact, I can type that here. And I'm not going to bore you by typing in all the information, but I'll type in just a bit of it here. And then if we needed to add notes, related agents, external documents, or rights statements, we could. I'm going to show you related agents because it's kind of interesting. So let's say I wanted to explain the Hetley family's relationship with my family, my parents' family, the McWethies. So we'd call that an associative relationship, and we could add the related agent here. Now if we already had that record in here, we could add it, but we don't, so we're going to add it. So we will use the same local sources, and we're going to add the McCarthy family. And we will create and link to that agent. Alright, so now we're going to save this family. And then we're going to go look at our list of agents. And we're going to see that there are 2 families listed here, along with some other things that were created as defaults by the program. But we've got the Hetley family and the McCarthy family. Alright, so now we've got all that, I'd like to modify a previous record to show how we use these. So I'm going to go back over to our resources and add these. So here's the fuzzy cat collection. We're going to edit it. And it's going to take a moment to load. Sorry about that. Alright, so in here we can add subjects. So now, as you can see, we have the option to browse subjects, and there is the Calico Cat subject we just created. So we're going to link to that subject. And then we are also going to link to agents. So we are going to list the Hetley family as the creator of these records. And we're again going to browse, and we'll select the Hetley family. And we'll link to that agent. So that is how you use them. And I'm going to save this collection. And it's been saved. And I will close the record. And that information has now been included, and I believe that will be it. So thank you for listening to my description about ArchivesSpace. And the final video will talk about why ArchivesSpace is important to libraries and archives. Thank you.